It is here, boys. It's finally here. Cinderella Girls U149 is here for the spring 2023 anime season, and I am super excited. Put aside your funny and cute jokes. I'm putting that backwards on purpose. Just put that over there. This is pure wholesome. The girls are adorable, and I want them to succeed. It's the ultimate underdog story, and I love the writers behind the Cinderella Girls franchise. And when I seen this getting adapted, I could not be more excited. But yes, no thanks to Crunchyroll though. I had to go out and get it elsewhere because I'm tired of waiting. I'm assuming there's some sort of exclusivity deal, but again, I'm tired of waiting. I've been waiting for this show ever since Onimai ended. I wanted this and now I have it. But this is my thoughts on the first episode of Cinderella Girls U149, so let's jump right into it. The Idolmaster Cinderella Girls U149 opens up following pretty much a bunch of people within this one particular company, and they are producing and creating the next project they have. Apparently, as they're kind of bickering about the president's whims, he decided that he wanted to create something, and ugh, what a trouble it is. But yes, they're creating the third entertainment section, which at the time, again, seems very questionable, and they just don't think it's going to work and that it's a waste of time. Well, it just so happens they have to find a producer to kind of lead this particular idol group they're going to be creating, and so they just kind of find some random guy that's in the company. He's been there for 3 years. Hey, guy, do you want to be a producer? I love that phone call. It's like, hey, so how long you been with us? 3 years? Yeah, do you want to be a producer? It's like, this guy's like, yes, please, let me be a producer. It obviously felt like the guy was hesitating to tell this young member of their team that you're going to be pretty much doing some side project that seems useless by the president's whims. But yes, this kid is like really excited about it. He's like, he's been in there for 3 years. He's an adult, obviously, but he's very short in stature, so he looks very young. But again, this is his big chance. He's always loved idols. He's always thought them to be shiny and sparkly and just love them. And so he's always been looking forward to the moment that he could be a producer. So this is obviously exciting for him. Now, from the other perspective, we get mostly from Arisu Tachibana. Don't call her Arisu though. And Tachibana is one of many other girls that are part of this company but have yet to get their big gig. They keep doing tryouts and trainings, but nobody's ever brought them in for their own group. And we see that she obviously has some problems with her parents. Her parents are, yes, they take care of her, but at the same time, they're never there. They're always late at work and whatnot. And even though she thinks that they're cool and very reliable, but there's obviously a sort of disconnection between what she sees, what she's doing, and what they see. As she finally does get this gig, her mom's like, yeah, as long as it doesn't interfere with your studies, that's fine. Which, yes, is good that she's okay with what Arisu's doing, but it doesn't excite her mother, and I think that's the thing that hurts Arisu the most. But yes, Arisu, along with all these other girls that are for this team, show up at this meeting point, and the producer's late. His first day, the dude's late, which is not a good sign if you're a producer that you're going to be late on your first day. Employees equally with the producers. But as they're waiting, they're kind of talking about what they hope their producer is. You know, is he old and reliable, a good person, all this kind of stuff. And yes, when the producer shows up, he's short and seems young, and they all, most of them, don't see that he's reliable. Initially, they kind of assume that he's a lolicon, that he just kind of slipped into there. He, at the same time, doesn't know any information about who he's producing, so he thinks it's just a room full of children, like a nursery or something. So yeah, first impressions aren't good. But what kind of comes from this is you have this equal thing where some of them seen him as young and not their producer, where on the other side, he's seen them as a bunch of kids and that he was expecting, you know, some grand idols and some older idols. And Arisu herself also even goes to leave to request a different producer. Yeah, this is a group of girls that's been waiting for their gig. They need somebody that takes it seriously like they do. Or at least what Arisu does. And to have somebody view them as children and not worth his time is kind of an insult. So yes, he sort of changes his perspective. No, I'm going to do whatever I can as your producer. And after some training, they have a little bit more of this where you have Arisu and the producer walking side by side with all the others, and eventually Arisu questioning him. Why are you producer? Why did you start working at this business? Well, I love idols. And from Arisu's perspective, yes, she believes that they're shiny and sparkly and all that kind of stuff up on the stage, and she wants to do the same thing, which he does agree. Yes, they're shiny and they're sparkly, right? So it turns this whole thing where he declares to all the girls that they're going to go see the greatest, most shiny dream together. And that's sort of where we wrap up the first episode. I think this first episode did really well in sort of focusing on Arisu herself and the producer. I think those are the two main ones they're going to covering with this first episode, and the idea that, you know, the producer obviously was looking for his first big gig, and now he's super excited about being a producer for an idol group. He had some hesitation and obviously a little bit of a shock there, but at the same time, he still has this desire. And I think it's through what Arisu says, and that she believes idols are sparkly and stuff. He sees a kinship in her and says, okay, look, that's exactly what I want too. And I'm going to do this with you guys. We're going to actually be successful. And again, from Arisu's perspective, a lot of it seems to be both her parents and her distrust of the producer early on. In regards to the parents, like I said earlier, this idea that it doesn't seem like, despite her taking being an idol seriously, her parents just see it as a side thing, which is, again, sort of an insult similar to what the producer did to her. Oh, you're just children, you're never going to be successful kind of thing. Have fun, sure, but don't take it too seriously. Don't make it your priority, which is, yes, from a parent's perspective, is a good thing. Keep your studies up, because if it doesn't work out, you still need to be smart. But it's still kind of sad in the idea that she wanted her mom to be excited for her. I finally got my first gig, and mom's not excited. I thought she'd be more excited. Yet she's late, and she's like, oh, just make sure to keep up your studies. It even shows that she didn't get the signature from her parents. She doesn't want to bring it to them, despite the fact that they know. So I'm wondering if later on it's going to be a thing that's going to come up again. Like, he's going to go, wait, we never got your signature. You need to get that. And then she's going to confront her parents and then hopefully at that point express, no, this is important to me. And I think that kind of culminates into what I'm most excited about this series. We see a lot of idol shows where it's kind of like, you know, mid-teens type of characters, and they're more grown-up looking, and the perspective here is that they're butting into adulthood. Whereas I think with this one, yes, it's U149. It's this idea of being under 149 centimeters. So yes, Rika, sorry. It's just short, petite characters. Yes, they're not all super young, but you do have much younger characters here. You have grade schoolers. And I mean, that's even what they were talking about when they were first setting it up. We're going to bring in a bunch of grade schooler. What is the president thinking at this point? It sort of brings the age down a little bit, which again, sort of has that conflict with what is taken seriously and not. This idea that the parents know best and these children are still growing up. They're still maturing, and so what they think is important might not be important to the parents. But in the end, obviously from our perspective, we want them to succeed, and so we're going to take this stuff seriously. So there's, I think, going to be a lot of struggle with that, at least from Arisu's perspective. I'm sure the other characters are going to be more about something else, whereas Arisu is that. And I think that's where I'm most excited, because when I watched IDOLM STER Cinderella Girls, I loved the writing in that show. The characters in that show were fantastic. And yes, a lot of underdog stories, which is kind of prevalent in the idol sphere of anime. And those final episodes of the original Cinderella Girls was just super emotional because of that idea of the underdog and somebody blossoming into an entertainer and finally succeeding. And that's what I'm looking forward to the most with this series. Yes, coupled in the fact that, yeah, they're all super cute, and they're all super adorable, and I just want to pinch their cheeks. And besides the funny and cute jokes that is obviously going to be there, I think so far this has been a very wholesome show. And yes, based on my previous experience with Cinderella Girls, they don't really exploit the characters like you would typically get. Granted, most idol shows don't really try to exploit the characters too much, unless they're telling a story like Wake Up Girls tried to do. They tried to do that and failed miserably. Now, why I trust this project so much and why I'm excited without hesitation is I think we have a great team working on this show. Cygames Pictures is well known for having a lot of money and budget to throw in a series, and additionally, we have Manabu working on this project, Manabu Okamoto, which, yes, is the director that worked on the first season of Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation, which, honestly, he did a phenomenal job of it. I read a lot of the interviews of him, and he really does have a passion for whatever he works on. So I think he's going to take his skill and really shine with this series. Get it? Shine? He is the type to have a lot of attention to detail, and I'm already seeing that with the first episode. A lot of these perspective shots are really fantastic. The perspective shots of the producer, like looking at his phone when the guy is pausing, or looking straight up when they actually have the call to be a producer. The shot of Arisu coming in the house through the fish tank. All those shots are really beautiful. And although they're not getting into a lot of emotion currently, the few points of emotion and hesitations and whatnot the characters have in this first episode were really well put together. Shoot, even when you have the dispute between the girls and the producer, a lot of these shots are kind of posed in a way that you see all the characters, but you still see certain characters that have hesitation. Again, we're not getting into a lot of heavy stuff yet, but with what little we've had, they're doing a great job of it. Yes, in general, idol shows focus on the underdog story. They're typically underdogs. They're always climbing from the bottom up. They're trying to prove themselves. And like I said earlier, I think the thing that has me most excited and what I'm kind of predicting the story will go into is the idea that not only are they underdogs, not only are they new, but additionally, they're going to be not taken seriously because of their age. And I think the producer being with them is going to sort of really work well. I wasn't really sure about him as producer. I assumed that he was going to be a child when I seen the PVs. So it's kind of funny to have that thrown in my face. The dude's been working for 3 years, so he's got to be at least in the area of 2021. But similar to the girls is that he's not taken seriously because he looks so young. And so I think he's going to be, of anybody, a great person to be able to speak. The worst, they can't speak to people to take them seriously. But we'll see where it goes from here. So far, animation's fantastic, the directing's fantastic, the music, we only got like a little bit of vocals and then the closing songs, but I'm looking forward to the music as well. But again, at its core, what I'm looking forward to the most is what Cinderella Girls, the last anime series, gave me, is fantastic characters, development, and just building up the confidence that you need to succeed. But anyhow, that's my thoughts on the first episode of Idol Master Cinderella Girls U149. Hopefully the future episodes will be a lot more easier to find and consume. Crunchyroll, just push them to give you it so you can just post it. I hate exclusivity deals. I just absolutely hate them. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video as always. If you did, make sure to hit that like button down below. Comment, let me know what you thought of the series. You're going to be checking it out. No funny and cute jokes. And if you don't know what that is, please don't look it up. Additionally, if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you get all my content. I do news, reviews, first impressions, top list. If it's anime, it's pretty much here. Additionally, if you want to support the channel more, I have a Patreon link, a tips link, and a super thanks button down below. Greatly appreciate it, but it supports the channel. You guys mean a lot to me, and y'all take care.